Welcome YouTubers back to Diecast culture, and it's been about a couple of months since my last video, and over those last 2 months I've come across a few really lovely examples of scale model replica cars in 1/64 scale, and let's take a look. Coming out of the bag in no particular order, first of all is this Ferrari 385 GT B4 Competizione. So this is a basic mainline Hot Wheels, retails for around about £1.60 to £2.50 in UK shops, and it's, you know, still phenomenally cheap for what they are. So quick check of the artwork. So it's worth remembering that these are what they are. They are basic mainline toys, hence the attention to detail in certain areas may be lacking, but I think the important thing is does it capture the essence of the real vehicle? And I would say yes, it does. Mazda RX-3. What I like about model car collecting, trying to explain to those who might not be collectors themselves, is that if you like cars, collecting stuff like this actually expands your knowledge of your hobby. Hot Wheels are pretty good at coming up with examples of vehicles that you don't see on roads today. Just a lovely sort of pale mustard colour. Okay, next up, just delving into this bag blindly. Here we have another Hot Wheels basic mainline Chevy Silverado pickup truck. Is it 1983 possibly? Yeah, 1983. So I confess I have a number of these in different liveries with different sized wheels on them, and this is a popular casting because of its realistic 1/64 scale size. If you were to put it next to most other Hot Wheels, it's suitably large. So the 83 Silverado is usually presented in a slammed version, in other words very close to the ground. I've always thought it would be really nice to see this with off-road tyres on it and a little bit lifted. Fairly sort of basic looking grille. You can see the interior bucket seats, quite cool. Very sort of minimalist finish. Right, next up, this is another basic mainline Hot Wheels, and this is an awesome casting. It is a VW T3 Custom, or in French, Personnalisé. Now, I don't know whether this particular vehicle exists. It's a very unusual design. It's meant to be for the racetrack. I have seen a real Ford Custom Transit with the same design, with the sort of, if you wish, fluted rear, open rear. Awesome sort of 1980s stroke 70s kind of livery with the browns and dark yellows. So the lower half of the body is made out of plastic, the upper half die-cast metal, or Zamac to be precise. What a gorgeous early winter's day it is here in the UK. Okay, I was going to save this for last, but this is a Ferrari Daytona SP3 by Burago. Now, a lot of Buragos make their models in more 1/55 scale, possibly. This is, I think, pretty much spot on 1/64 scale. In terms of the price point, it's semi-premium, so the price of this is around about £9. Super premium examples can go all the way up to 25, 30 quid a piece. So you can see the difference between this and a standard basic mainline Hot Wheels. So the details are a lot more finer, more fine, a lot more attention to detail in terms of wheels, rubber tyres instead of plastic, and an interior which in a minute, certainly from this angle, you'll see has quite a bit more detail. So hopefully the camera's picking up the Ferrari badge on the steering wheel, and that's a proper steering wheel as opposed to a moulded blob which you get with a Hot Wheels mainline. Awesome. So if we were to zoom right in on this, let's just see how accurate that badge is. So remember, that particular badge you're looking at is probably about 1 millimetre across. Okay, you can see the prancing horse really well there, and the size of that badge, probably about 2.5 mil across. I do like the rear of this vehicle. So it's just a basic plastic base. BMW 635 CSI. Now this came out for the first time in black with HWS Hot Wheels Special logos in gold on black. This time white on orange. And the HWS is, of course, a play on John Player Special, when back in the days when John Player cigarettes sponsored motor racing. Quite a fun casting this with, you can see there is a roll bar in there. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. So, being a basic mainline, the details are fairly scant in places, certainly on the rear. But, like I said before, does it have the essence of the real car? And yes, it does. Part of the reason of collecting Hot Wheels and other similarly scaled vehicles is the beautiful colours they come in. I mean, just check those candy colours out. They just look lovely in this winter sunshine. Okay, so next up, this one is a cracker for a basic mainline. Here we are. So this is not a new casting. It's been around for a number of years with Hot Wheels, and this is a 2018 Bentley Continental GT3, and what a name for a car, Continental. Bentley Continental. So this is an awesome Grand Tourer in race version in a beautiful, beautiful gold, electric gold colour. It's quite a reasonably accurate 1/64 scaled casting. Again, just like checking out the artwork. I mean, just check that out. Is that awesome or what? So we're just going to zoom out a little bit. That's probably a little bit better. Really deep air intakes there on the bonnet. So, you know, in a perfect world it would be nice if Hot Wheels added in the lights. Very dark interior. Massive spoiler, which from above just looks awesome with the Bentley in writing there. In fact, the Bentley Continental for me has always been an impressive car to see on the road. It's really good size. So you've seen this casting earlier in the video, BWT3 custom, this time in a different colour. You can probably hear a light aircraft going overhead. That's probably from the local airport, Lyd, that's L-Y-D-D on the south coast, or possibly Headcorn, which is further to the north of where we are. Okay. Right, next up, Diora. Is that how you say it? 2. This is interesting casting design. It's an original Hot Wheels design. Hot Wheels made a 1/1 real life sized version of it, and I think it originally came out in a dark metallic blue. So if I had a choice of keeping this and the Bentley Continental, I know which one I would keep. But this nonetheless is quite cool with the surfboards there, rear engine, and kind of super cool rounded windows. Another basic mainline, 2015 Land Rover Defender double cab, véhicule à cabine double. So 2015 is quite a significant date for the Land Rover Defender. That was the last year that Land Rover Defenders were manufactured. The reason being is because they didn't meet European safety standards. A classic vintage vehicle. So I love the profile of this. Yokohama sponsorship. So critical appraise. I think the rear panel on this is very good. Lots of relief and detail. It's a shame that the bit beneath the rear window isn't in the same bodywork colour, I guess, unless it could be a bed liner. The front, there's a lot of plastic there, and in fact Hot Wheels have made an error here in terms of accuracy, and the reason I know this is because the bonnet, if you look at this, it's a little bit concave. Now on a 2015 Defender there would have been a slight bulge on the bonnet to accommodate the larger engine that was put in from late 2007 stroke 2008 onwards. That engine was a Ford Transit engine, diesel. So as a general rule, whenever you see a Land Rover Defender with a bonnet like this one, it's going to be pre-2007. So yeah, I think Hot Wheels need to do a little bit more homework for that particular detail. And why do I know this? Because we have a real life-size Defender. Our Defender is a 2008 version, and it does indeed have the raised bonnet. Oh, and I was going to say on that particular Hot Wheels that the tyres are a little bit chunky on that. I mean, it's nice to have some chunky tyres on an off-road vehicle, but it's a little bit excessive possibly. Now this is an interesting vehicle. Before I knew what it was, I thought, yeah, that kind of looks Japanesey, like a small Japanese sports car, but it is not. It is a Ford RS200. I did read up about this, but I've forgotten the poignant details about it. But what I remember is this was specifically designed for racing, and have I got this right? There are only 2 produced. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And the designer of the bodywork, now the bodywork was made out of fiberglass or glass fiber, and it was made by the Reliant company. So the British company called Reliant used to make cars predominantly, if not all of the time, with glass fiber bodywork. And this is yet another example of how Hot Wheels takes a fairly unknown vehicle and promotes it, in this case in Gulf livery of a creamy blue and orange, and yeah, I think it looks pretty awesome really. Ford 200, possibly the 200 is a significant figure, not sure about that, but yeah, very nice design. In terms of age, the RS200, 2000 possibly, 2005, 1995, possibly around about that era. Okay, yet another example of a car that you might not come across if it weren't for Hot Wheels producing it, or if you're really into motor racing. So this is a McMurtry Sperling. I probably said that wrong. And is that Irish? Is it Scottish? Forgive me for not knowing. This is a tiny car in real life, very short, very narrow, and very high performance, very light. And from what I've seen, this is a fairly accurate portrayal of the real thing. So it's a single-seater vehicle. A lot of angles going on there. I guess it would be quite nice to see this in a premium finish with more realistic wheels possibly. Okay, so this is another basic mainline. There are a number of premium models that I'm going to show you a little bit towards the end of this video, so please do fast forward a little bit, or if you're willing to go through the whole lot, then you're more than welcome. So this is an Audi 90 Quattro, and this was a four-wheel drive rally car, absolutely awesome. So this has got the extra wide body kit on it. Nice clear Audi logo there. Okay, so a Ferrari SF90 Stradale in gunmetal silver. So it's quite easy to, for Hot Wheels basic mainline, to make these super sleek castings relatively featureless, I guess. But once again, the question is, does it capture the essence of the real vehicle? And I would say it probably does. So if ever there was a beautiful basic mainline from Hot Wheels, it has to be the 1989 Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC AMG. This is just a gorgeous execution. So what a lovely, gorgeous, sparkly paint scheme that is. And you can very clearly see a tan interior, all 4 seats, all with their headrests. Front has been done nicely, and the rear, I mean, look at that, that's just so well done. And this is what I love about collecting Hot Wheels. 90% of the time, Hot Wheels are these fantasy castings with not a lot of attention to detail, and the other 10% are licensed products such as this Mercedes. And you think, this is what's so fun, because you know this retails for anything from £1.60 in the UK to £2.50, and that's just, you know, for the price of half a cup of coffee. This is just gorgeous. Okay, Alfa Romeo Giulia T1 Super. It's an interesting late 1960s, I guess, early 70s vehicle. Alfa Romeos are always racy. A true driver's car like the BMW. So you might say this is not a hugely dynamic looking vehicle. It's sort of fairly staid saloon car, but it still catches the eye. I do believe this is the last basic Hot Wheels basic mainline in this particular video today. This is a Renault Espace F1 Formula 1, and the history behind this vehicle is that Renault thought, yeah, let's put our own Formula 1 engine into one of our MPVs, family vehicles, and this is the result. So it's extra wide body kit on it, and the engine was placed centrally in the vehicle, I think just in front of the rear wheels between the 2 rear seats. And performance, I think, is about 180 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds, possibly less than that. So very sharp looking in this sunshine, lovely black paintwork. I don't know whether Hot Wheels have got the right proportions here. It appears to be a little bit more kind of blobby than the real thing. What I mean by that is it looks a bit short. Okay, here we have another Burago model in 1/64 scale. This is an S12 Competizione. So, pretty gorgeous looking. A lot of detail here. So, like I said earlier, this is a semi-premium category. Hopefully you can see a little bit of detail inside. So this particular model came with kind of, if you wish, broken suspension at the back. So it was sitting with the rear right down. So I took it apart and found that the spring, the metal spring, which creates the suspension, was not quite in the right place. So it just had to be repositioned or slightly bent to create a little bit more resistance to those rear wheels. Put it back together and it now sits correctly. Here we have, by Majorette, Volkswagen ID Buzz. So Hot Wheels make the ID Buzz, a little bit smaller scale than this one by Majorette. And Majorette always goes one step further with some opening features, so we have a nice sliding opening door. Majorette generally are 20% higher in terms of price in the shops. So Majorette as a toy car manufacturer have been around since the 1960s, I think. I collected these when I was a kid. And Majorette are really pushing out the boat at the moment, producing a lot of different vehicles in a variety of finishes. So it's quite fun to be able to have that sliding door. Majorette come with a little bit of suspension in the wheels. Okay, so it's a little bit of fun. This is a cartooned version of the '87 Chevy C10 by a die-cast manufacturer called Cartoon Customs. Nice quality finish on these. I like the wheels on this. Big fat rubber tyres. Gorgeous paintwork. So this could actually be a show car going to a motor show on a trailer. So this is the penultimate model that we're going to see in today's video, and this really caught my eye. Fast and Furious Hot Wheels Premium Lamborghini LM002. So this is a most unusual off-road vehicle made by Lamborghini. It came out in, I'm going to get this awfully wrong, mid-1990s possibly, and very angular design, very utilitarian, hopefully very capable. And what caught my eye with this Hot Wheels version of it is the scale of it. The scale of it is really good, and I'll explain in a minute. This is gorgeous. Lovely off-road, aggressive tread tyres. Lots of details and relief on the bodywork. Gorgeous paintwork. So while we're about it, talking about the Lamborghini LM002, this is a version made by Matchbox, which, yeah, looks pretty cool. Beefy wheels, they've got the nice relief and detail on the bodywork, the exposed hinges on the doors. Bit of detail on the rear, and I think, does that say Lamborghini? LM002 possibly? So yeah, not bad looking, but I was talking to you earlier about the scale of the Hot Wheels example, and I'm just going to put them together and you can see what I mean. So here we go. Hopefully that's focusing. Is that focusing? Yeah, so that's not focusing, is it? So there you go. Hopefully you can see the difference between the two of them. So the Hot Wheels is, I would say, true 1/64 scale, whereas Matchbox is probably 1/72. Last of all today is the Horizon Hauler Toyota FJ Cruiser. This is Hot Wheels premium team transport. This is quite a beefy looking vehicle. Hot Wheels own design. And the team transport being premium, they usually have metal bases, and this indeed does. So that is all metal, which adds to the weight, makes it a very solid model. Beautifully executed Toyota FJ Cruiser. Yeah, lovely colour. Awesome wheels, attention to detail on the paintwork, and my only criticism is the true scale of this is probably 1/68, 1/70, I would think. So it's, the casting for a 1/64 scale collector is a little bit on the smaller side. Nonetheless, it's an eye-catching design. Okay, so that is it for today. What you see in front of you represents what I've come across over the last 2 months. This is a hobby I love, really enjoy coming across a few fine examples. Thanks for watching today, and I'm just going to show you where I've been sitting. So we look up, we've got this gigantic Christmas tree. Okay guys, see you later, take care, happy hunting.